fitnesscookingcafe.com, and I'm here at the Perth Fitness Expo 2015, and I'm joined by Queenax CEO of Australasia, Barbour. Welcome, mate.
Thanks, Nathan. We're really pleased to be here at the show for the first time in Perth. We're here sponsoring the event, as you can see behind us here, with our wonderful rig, which Michelle is currently using, actually, Michelle Bridges.
Yeah, and she's using Under the Space, which the CEO of Queenax, Giannato, was saying that it doesn't occupy the space, it multiplies the space. So that's a great example. She's not even using the rig, she's using underneath it.
Yep. So what we've done is the rig is designed, exactly like you said, to overarch an area but not impact on that area. So you might want to use the frame for all kinds of attachments, which we call apps, or you might want to just train underneath it, you might want to stretch, you might even want to bring some equipment in underneath it and then move it out afterwards. Because we don't impact on the floor space underneath it, we can use underneath and around and on top, and that's one of the key factors and benefits for using the rig.
And that's great. I mean, we look at the other things on the market that are a little bit smaller and they've got a smaller footprint. It basically then makes it where you have to work around it, not so much through it. So that's quite a unique idea.
It is, but at the same time we can also have a small rig. So this rig you can see behind us here is 12 meters long in weight, and then it's also 5 meters wide. But what we also do is we can go down as low as a single beam.
Right.
The key point to it is that all the education programs and the apps that we add onto the frame.
Can you explain the apps for me a little bit?
Yeah, completely. Our apps are seen as a unique offering to the marketplace. So we use products like anti-gravity yoga,
right,
or our super functional bar.
Yep.
We've also today at the show we're introducing 4D Pro, which is a hammock reaction trainer system.
Right.
But what we're doing also on the frame is each station on the frame has a number, and it allocates an area for somebody to train underneath it and or move around it.
Okay.
Each one of those apps is a complete education program in itself, unique only to Queenax.
Okay. Now, yesterday we looked at the Queenax a little bit closer up. I took the action cam inside the rig, and we can actually, and I'll show that footage throughout this video. So can you explain the straps that we're hanging down and the poles across, and what app that is?
Yeah, well, that app is our super functional straps and bar. That's the mainstay of our education that we deliver to most gyms and facilities. And the reason being is you can use it for many different things, from children through to adults, older people,
right,
people who are inflexible, people who want to be strong, and we're also looking at this inclusion of full good body movements.
Fantastic.
So you can stand on the bar on the straps. They actually fit through the holes, and you can move them up interchangeable, so that the member actually gets used to doing it themselves.
Right.
So instead of as a trainer having to always come in and do it, another key feature is we use storage on the frame. So when you start the class, you take the equipment off the frame because it's reusing it. You hang it onto the attachment points, and you fix the bar where you need it to go to, and then you move into whatever modality of training you want to do. You may want to be sitting on the floor to get to stand up on the bar. There's lots of things.
Yeah, and I saw that yesterday, obviously, and again, through the action cam, we can actually see that in detail. But it's so simple to move the bars in and out of the straps, wasn't it?
Yeah. What it does also is, because we have a height rig, so we're going to go up on top of the rig at some stage,
yes,
and hang off it. We use the bar as a tool to help people to try to get comfortable with supporting the body weight in a safe position before we go up onto the bar.
Totally makes sense. Progression, right?
It is a progression. So rather than saying to somebody, there's a set of monkey bars, get up there and do it, not everybody can do that.
No.
So we have the bar lower down, we can actually hang from in a controlled area where the trainer can work with the client, make sure they're comfortable with holding their own body weight, and swinging and moving. Because when you go onto a monkey bar, often people grab it and they'll swing, and you won't know that they're not going to be hold on until they start going in that direction.
Right.
Which is not a good place to be.
No, definitely not.
So ultimately, it's a way to help us to do that. But also, it becomes itself a tool for balance, and also looking for little obstacle courses, kids games, warm-up games,
and adult games too. I mean, yesterday I saw those guys having a lot of fun. I wish I wasn't filming. I wanted to be part of it.
Yeah, and it's the fun in the functional training. We really want to bring fun back into what we do. The funniest thing, as we see with our clients, is many people would say, "Oh, I haven't done that since I was a child. I'm really enjoying doing something different," and that's what we deliver.
Definitely, and yesterday I liked that competition where the guys were laying down on the floor and then they had to lift themselves up into the bar, and the bar is moving. It's not like a standard monkey bar where it's fixed. Because it's in the straps, you still got a lot of stabilisation, or a lot more stabilisation.
Yeah, like a gymnast on a bar, on a high bar. So we bring some of those elements into it and add to it, and so it takes a lot of skill to be a gymnast, but in this area here we can control it and make it as hard or as easy as you want to make it for the skill level or the person's progressions.
Yeah. So let's talk more about the modular. Let's chunk that right down. So when I first started looking at the Queenax, all I conceptualized, because all I had seen was the big rig, and the big rig, is a little bit overpowering. Obviously, for some gyms, go, oh no, that's way too big for my facility. So let's talk about the smaller elements and how you can actually build on it.
Well, look, what we do is we start the smallest option that we bring is something called the one solution, and that's a single beam. Everything we do is freestanding, so that means we don't need any support structure from any walls, any roof, any ceiling. All we need is a flooring, basically. So generally it will bolt down into the floor. The one solution has its own unique footing around the floor that can support it. And also when you then move into something like a corner space, so often in a gym it's unused space in a corner, so we have a particular corner unit that we will put into that area. It still allows us to use the programs, it gives us the storage, it gives more return for revenue for an operator to understand what they can do in that dead space.
Definitely. And on top of that, if they do go for a larger rig, and then they can also put in the corner these smaller rigs, and once you got the culture going and the gym members understanding how to use it, they can whack themselves into a corner while a group fitness thing's going on.
Yeah, so it's
there's lots of options.
Small group fitness works, group exercise works, but also what we're finding is some people will put a zone for a PT. So you would say for a PT, that's your area over there, there's your equipment on the storage systems. So operators will look and work on a rental process, so we'd say to that trainer, look, you're gonna rent that space, and that's what they also look at as an operator. That helps them to say, well, actually I'm going to get return on revenue when I put that in there, because the trainer can use that if they feel like it's their own station, and also everybody else can use it.
Yeah, absolutely. I can just see Michelle's absolutely stomping those girls over there, and she's really working hard. So it's great to actually see it in play as a functional area, just underneath it. So.
Yeah. Well, so later today I'll be doing some more demonstrations, and what it is when people see it at first, they think it's just a pull-up bar station, and then we find out so much more, and the reaction we've had from everybody so far in Australia that we've delivered it to has been one of real amazement that it can deliver so many programs. So we start generally with the super functional, we grow into some other classes and areas, but really what we're doing is helping the operator understand this is a product, we'll show you how to use it, we help you to educate your trainers and your clients, and you get much more benefit from it that way.
Absolutely. So in terms of, I honestly believe that, you're getting an idea here, but I really think, do yourself a favour, if you are intrigued by this piece of equipment, jump online, which it's now under the Precor brand.
At the moment, currently, because we've just been bought over by Precor, so we're going through a transition at the moment, so we're still a website, still queenaxaustralasia.com, and so they can get in touch with us on online, obviously. The Precor website is sending people in Australia now to us as well. Over the next few months, this transition will finalise, and everybody will get all the technology up to speed, because it's so new. Literally, we're not even in the last month that the announcement was made, so we're still undergoing change.
And it's a pretty exciting opportunity for both companies, isn't it? So for Precor, they didn't really have that functional training aspect, which is why they obviously were interested in Queenax in the first place. And for Queenax, then it also opens the doors for you into gyms that have already got Precor. And it's a win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the industry trends are showing that functional training is making some changes in the industry, and everybody in manufacturing is realising it, and they're trying to be a part of it more so, and that's what Precor have done. We are the leaders in the functional training space, and really everybody's saying to us, okay, what are you doing as a company? We are helping Precor to understand some of the projects that we've got going. We've got some really exciting projects happening as well in the future, and some new product coming out as well. But really what it is about is, as you look at the frame, we've just got this great big attachment point, big, small, whatever size you want to make it, to be able to add education and make it really worthwhile, as opposed to just saying, look, we, for instance here, we have a CrossFit competition going on, but when that competition is finished, what else do you want to use that space for? So we can use it for CrossFit, we can use it for kids, we can use it for adults, anti-gravity yoga, we can even do pole dancing on it, we can do everything, anything you want to do, squat racks, lifting, all the things that you would want to do as an operator.
Yeah, and this weekend has shown a lot of that, hasn't it? So you've had so many different classes classes and courses run through the whole weekend.
Yeah, and it's really good. Michelle and Steve would have come in with a pre-planned program and a session, but they wouldn't necessarily have known what was on the equipment here, and so what they're able to still do is use that space because it's not limiting them to say, oh, I can only do that here, I can do whatever they want to do. The same with Max. You know, Max has been coming in and using it, one of the other trainers has been in here, using it for lots of different things.
Yeah, and I love that in that, you know, they don't have to quickly analyse the rig and work out, oh God, what parts are on it and what do I need to do. They can actually just use underneath the space in a very quick format.
So it also becomes conventional. So if you think of it as conventional training and non-conventional training, the conventions are still here with our weights, our squat racks, our kettlebells, and that's what the shelf is there for. Normally we also would have a boxing rig on here, a railing, so our boxing system has a rail that goes all the way along. So the bags actually slide out, and when you're finished, you bring them back against the frame, out the way, and you can reuse the space.
Yeah, and that's really important too, is the way that the Queenax rig actually is able to store equipment. So, you know, there's nothing left on the floor and nothing untidy.
Yeah, and you know, it is a trip hazard, but at the same time, it helps the flow of the movement. We talk about this flow through and underneath it. Some gyms also, we would take down the bars so that somebody could actually walk through and right underneath it, both from the ends and from underneath. We had a gym that wanted us in a creche area to put a frame in, but didn't want the little kids to be able to get any access up onto the frame. So we took all the lower bars off so they couldn't come up and use it, but then the adults could still use it later on.
Oh, that's great. Wow. What a use of space. Creche and gym at the same place.
Yeah, and we all pay big lease costs, so the idea is saying that's a way for maybe a smaller studio to say, well, I can still put it in.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you very much, Ross. So that's Nate and Ross here at the Perth Fitness Expo, and that Queenax rig, guys, again, check it out online. Precor have now taken over Queenax very, very recently, so you can go internationally to precor.com, but in Australasia, it's...
so here in Australasia, we're still under queenaxaustralasia.com, but very soon when all the technology catches up with the new changes, there'll be a new website coming, but if you want to access us for precor.com or queenaxaustralasia.com, that's the way to get hold of us.
Fantastic. All right, Ross, we'll have a great rest of the show.